Hi, my name is Sarah Trumbull. I'm the founder and CEO of the Job Applicant Perspective, the first anonymous crowdsourced user reviews for job ads across the U.S. Think of it like anonymous Yelp in a world of professionally mandated fine dining with no health department and no FDA. Sorry if I look a little bit like a strange AI. New computer is coming tomorrow, but I improve as I go recursively. So today I'm going to read from a blog post that I wrote a while back called The Labor Market AI, a Lie Behind AI and Hiring, talking about why adding AI to the employer side of the market is going to collapse the market harder. If you are of the economics mindset and you're familiar with the Jevons paradox, it's a two-stakeholder Jevons paradox, which is also, I call it a Mike paradox because I named it, so I get to do it. But it's the two-stakeholder Jevons paradox. For those of you who randomly would like to know, it was a guy named William Jevons coined it back when he was talking about coal. And it related to how finding coal more efficient wouldn't make using coal more efficiently better. It would, in fact, make it worse. Made people want coal more. And the same thing happened with oil. The more efficiently we got oil, the more efficiently we used oil. It happened with electricity, happened with the internet, happened with Wi-Fi. That's the thinking on AI. But I would like to suggest that whether or not economists before me have officially recognized it, the labor market and the dating market both represent that situation. So I'm going to describe it not quite in that way, but that's relates to some of the SSRN work I've done, some working papers I have. But this is called, as I said, why enabling further employer ease accelerates market collapse. It doesn't stabilize it. The silence between the cracks. We like systems that feel smooth, easy, efficient. But sometimes smooth is a warning sign because systems that never show strain, they don't always indicate strength. Sometimes they just hide collapse. Yeah. What we're seeing in the job market, the rising ghosting, the resume spam, the endless silence, that isn't just noise. It's the sound of suppressed tension trying to speak. Who this is for? It's for platform theorists and economists, a systems level explanation of why digital markets fail when they suppress adaptive tension with metaphors that ground abstract theory and structural collapse. It's for hiring leaders and HR tech analysts, a breakdown of how frictionless design backfires, creating the illusion of efficiency while masking dysfunction and eroding trust. It's for job seekers and policy advocates, a clarifying framework for why silence, ghosting, and job board chaos aren't random. They're symptoms of platforms that won't let the system speak. It's principle 4, the limits of asymmetric efficiency. Digital job markets, job platforms often respond to visible dysfunction, not by increasing adaptive capacity, but by suppressing signal. Smoothing over tension, automating feedback, and masking drift from their original purpose through superficial bells and whistles. This false stabilization creates the illusion of function while eroding the online hiring system's ability to respond to truth. Over time, suppressed tension reemerges as crisis, not because the system was unstable, but because it refused to acknowledge its own misalignment. What is false stabilization? False stabilization happens when a system silences friction instead of facing it, removes feedback instead of adapting to meet it, mimics function instead of rebuilding trust. It's like painting over a cracked wall without checking the foundation. In digital labor platforms, this looks like automated status received with no reply, one-click applications that require no discernment, keyword games instead of conversations, AI smoothing everything to death until nothing has shape. And the worst part, it looks calm from the outside. Metaphors that clarify, a bridge with no tension can't bear weight, it collapses. A bow with no resistance can't make music, it's mute. A relationship with no disagreement isn't healthy, it's enmeshed. A market with no feedback doesn't adapt, it decays. Supply and demand without supply and demand is just supply, Vampirism. False stabilization is quiet rot. when more data makes it worse. It's not just that introducing AI into platforms and hiring doesn't give employers more information. It's that the information is bad. Think about it. Whether or not you have a old school TV showing static or a HCD TV, like high resolution TV showing static, it's still just a fancier TV screen with static, you know? You have to fix the static. That's the problem. They serve up keyword stuffed resumes, algorithmic rankings, and engagement-based visibility signals dressed up as clarity, but the data isn't truth, it's incentive-shaped noise, optimized for intention, aka hiring engagement, not accuracy, aka hiring solutions and resolution. I have so much to say on the score, but think about it like this. The newspaper promised to give only accurate information to whether you're a reader or a buyer of the paper. It didn't matter. You always only got accurate information. The job market promises to give only accurate information to employers. Employers make up less than 5% of the market because like over 80 million people tend to be job searching at any given time. And that varies the numbers. APA says one thing, it's from 1/4 to 3/4 to the whole market. So I just cut the market in half and say 80 million. But that makes HRs less than 1% of the market. If this side of the market can be fed needles and haystacks, but this side must only be seen exactly what this means. This side is seeing static. This side doesn't realize that they're just seeing static too. There's no reason to give them it's just misinformation. If this side gets tons of misinformation, this side doesn't realize that they're just getting misinformation too. If it's profitable to mislead job seekers, it's profitable to mislead employers. You're all looking at static. So employers make decisions based on game inputs. They're making decisions based on misleading info too, because job seekers have nothing but misleading info. Job seekers contort to fit the distortion, and platforms suppress the feedback that would reveal the collapse. The utter foolishness of this decision and this behavior is staggering to me. This isn't just inefficiency, it's asymmetric efficiency, where the system looks efficient from one side, the platform employers, while creating the chaos on the other, the job seekers' asymmetric efficiency that corrodes the system from within, not because there's too little signal, but because the signal is broken and no one's allowed to say so. Why platforms do it? Because real tension is inconvenient. It requires listening, slowing down, admitting the system may be misaligned. Instead, platforms automate responses, hide user feedback, and optimize metrics that only measure silence. But a system that no longer lets people push back can't hear when it's breaking. The real answer? Restoring adaptive tension. You do not fix quiet collapse by adding more silence. You fix it by reintroducing tension and friction, the right kind. That's why the solution to market falling apart from too much smoothing isn't more AI, and it definitely isn't making the asymmetry in the insight more lopsided. It's honest signal. It's adaptive adjustment to need. It's design that listens and responds. You do not tighten a violin by muting it. You restring the bow. You bring the tension back, the tension that makes the sound and the trust possible. And what this means for hiring, let job seekers flag ghost jobs, you dummies. I'm sorry, but yes, obviously. Let employers filter spam without losing feedback. Let platforms relearn what signal actually is. Not everything should be easy. Some things should resist, because that's how we know they're real. False stabilization isn't peace, it's illusion. It's illusion. It's a fantasy for profit. It's just a fantasy for profit. The only way to restore trust isn't to remove the strain, it's to build systems that can bear it. That's it. You want to go deeper on this research? The post is drawn from Principle 4, The Theory of Online Market Gravity, my systems level framework explaining structural failure in online labor platforms. This principle I call the limits of asymmetric efficiency. If you want to fix the hiring market, so do we. At the Job Applicant Perspective, we're building the first review. We built it. Based hiring platform designed around trust, not noise, anonymous feedback on jobs, ghost job flagging, signal-based job search, not spam. You should join us and help us restore the market from the inside. Trust isn't automatic, it's built. Let's build it together. We're Yelp in a world of professionally mandated fine dining with no health department, no FTA, no guarantee that anything on the menu has to exist, or even if it did, that it'd have to be sent to job seekers. And the entire national economy rests on a functioning labor market, which rests on a functioning job market, and has been inverted since it went online. The error, lapse in judgment in public policy is staggering to me. Staggering lack of thinking. That being said, that's where we're at right now. And you know what? A good ER start is right here. Trust. Trust is going to make me a lot of money. That's the way I see it. And do a lot of good. I like doing things that like both do good things and are profitable, you know? Win-win. Yeah, so anyway, stop by, ask questions, whatever you like. I didn't go into the two singular Jevons too much here, but yeah, that's the thought. Have a good evening. Always be kind to job seekers on the road. Job seekers think of like the job market, like all online markets. There's snowstorms. You don't call the corporate office. You talk to people on the roads. That's what you do. So have a good one.